Effective caring for your elderly relatives at home. Caring for an elderly relative can be an extremely stressful process. If you choose to go into care and deal with the elderly and infirm, then you can maintain an air of detachment. However, if you look after a relative, it is impossible to detach yourself from your family role as well as providing effective care. As a result, you will have to deal with all of the emotions that go with caring for a disabled or ill relative. As it is so hard to detach, you may well decide that you need help caring for him or her in order to escape from some of the stress and pressure. There are plenty of options as far as this is concerned owing to a service commonly known as home help. It may be labeled differently in your area, but this name sums up just what it is. Home help is a service that provides an experienced and qualified carer who will come into your home or your relative's home as often as you wish to provide various aspects of care, such as bathing, feeding, and dressing. This can be useful in that you could escape the elements of personal hygiene that are necessary. Many individuals cannot cope with the thought of undressing and washing their own flesh and blood, and understandably so. Again, it all goes back to that air of detachment that has previously been mentioned. It may well be easier to have someone to come in to administer that side of things every day whilst you take care of feeding and chores around the home. As home help carers administer such care for a living, they are schooled in the necessary privacy rules of their trade and can be counted upon to be honest and trustworthy. They all have to pass certain qualifications in order to be able to do their job and thus know what they are doing, although it may be hard not to interfere and make suggestions. Some people therefore choose to meet a home help carer once and then leave them to do their job. Most home help carers go into a home at least once a day, usually to get the individual out of bed, bathe and dress him or her, but you can choose to have home help as often as you want. 2 or 3 times a day is the usual level, and this is especially popular amongst those caring for elderly relatives and also have a full-time job to earn a living. However, the amount of times that you choose to have a carer in largely depends on what you can afford. The best services can be quite expensive, although there are usually several within one area to choose from. As a result, you can interview until you finally find a service that you are happy with and would trust with your relative. You can search for home help services on the internet or in the local service directories. There are minimum standards that each service has to comply with, so always be wary of services that do not boast of their credentials. Check out testimonials and ask around for recommendations. You may also want to take your elderly relative's opinion into considerations. After all, it is your relative that will have the most contact with the home help.
For more content like this, please visit learnforfree.biz.
Content produced and distributed by AllSuperInfo. All rights reserved.
Transform your old articles and ebooks into brand new audio content and use it to create podcasts or videos for your YouTube or TV channel. Visit allsuper.info and ask our live support for details.